Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm Rahman Johnson. So glad to be here and be a part of this experience. And I got my homeboy Samuel McDuffie with me. Hey Sam, what's going on, man?
How you doing, Rock? How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling amazing. And let me tell you why I got you here because, as you know, I'm a journalist and this is what I do. And I've been out working. And the reason I got on this jean jacket because it's cold outside, for real, for real. But I have this. I really wanted to share with everybody and spend some time with people before the election that's coming up in just a few days. And I'm probably looking rough. I need my haircut and all of that stuff. But we are so close to making history in Jacksonville in District 14. So I'm really, really excited. Wanted to spend some time here, take some questions, see if there are questions or comments out there, share why I'm running for office, but then get you to ask me some questions, some behind the scenes stuff. You know, it's been really difficult. And so Sam McDuffie is the president and CEO of Next Level Talk, he's an Instagram and social media influencer. As well, you have a company that is in schools around the state of Florida, spreading a message of motivation and self-empowerment and cultural understanding and all those really good things. And so we'll talk about that some more as well. But I'm curious to see what questions that you will ask me today. But before we get started, I wanted to share with you one thing. Why I'm running for office. Hey there, I'm Rahman Johnson, and I'm running to represent you on Jacksonville City Council. Now, yes, I'm from the West Side, and District 14, which is where I'm running, is all about the West Side, but it's about Jacksonville and moving us forward. I'm running because there is a possibility for us to change Jacksonville. We're looking for energy and diversity on Jacksonville City Council, and that's what I bring. I'm looking forward to finding out what you need and representing your voice each and every day on the City Council. You know, there are infrastructure improvements that are needed not just on the West Side, but around Jacksonville. Of course, we want to make sure that a quality of life is there for everyone here. Indeed, we also want to make sure that amenities that are in Mandarin and other sides of town are on the West Side and every side of Jacksonville. That's why I'm running. Most importantly, we want to attract quality businesses to the Jacksonville community. Businesses that are paying a living wage. Businesses that respect and want to be responsible community partners. But most importantly, we want our city to grow. Growth is what's important, but we must do it intelligently. And that's why I'm here to represent you. Join me on the journey. I'm Rahman Johnson for City Council, District 14, and I will make sure the future happens right now. So that's just a little bit about why I'm running. I was really excited to do that and share. And we'll have an opportunity for you to ask questions live. This is live. There's no edits, none of that stuff. So if you have any questions or comments or things you want to make, we can certainly bring you on. But Sam, if you want to get started, and I'll be more than happy to be as transparent as possible and answer any questions that you may have.
I just want to say first, thank you for having me here. It's a privilege and honor to talk with you, my friend. You're a mentor to me and a mentor to many.
I'm usually on the other side. I'm usually the one asking the questions, not answering. So it's a little weird for me here answering the questions instead of asking.
It's okay. I know you're going to get through it. Former elected official in 1998, 25 years ago, and you don't even look 25. I mean, how do you do that? How do you keep yourself looking the way you do?
Man, I will tell you, one of the things that I like is, and most people who know me know that fitness is something that is very important to me. So I'm in the gym 6 days a week, five to 6 days a week, depending on what my legs are feeling like that day or my knees. But I am constantly, I believe our bodies, health is wealth. And I believe that if you exercise them, they're also our temples, right? So if we exercise the temple, we have an opportunity for things to really jump and happen. So yeah, man, fitness. I will tell you, my water, I keep it near. I drink a gallon of water a day. I try to eat stuff that's not nasty. There's a Caribbean reggae song that says drink water and mind your business. And you know what? I try to take that advice myself. So yeah, that's what it is, man. But it's weird. I was I think a sophomore in college at Edward Waters College at the time, now university, when I ran for the Duval Soil and Water Conservation District. And it was a great experience. It was such an amazing experience. And I can't tell you how honored I was to be able to run and then to say that I won. And so I put that out to all of you, to everybody that's watching, and even you. Like, don't let someone tell you that you can't do something simply because of some external circumstance. Because there were people who told me I couldn't run, I shouldn't run, every reason why I wasn't going to win. But I made sure that I did what I came to do, and we did that. So yeah, 25 years ago, man.
Wow. Okay, now the future is now. That was in the past. Now you got this slogan, the future is now. Why now? After all these years, why now? Like,
so it's interesting. That is the campaign. You never know. There's a young man by the name of Ricky Anderson. And when the judicial lawsuit, as most people know, and then you may not know, the judicial lawsuit came about, and there were opportunities for new districts to be created. And I won't go into all of it in the lawsuit and racial gerrymandering and what was said, but it opened an opportunity for a new district to be created. The configuration of the district would be new. And so when I saw the new configuration of the district, I was like, well, this could be an opportunity for us not to be traditional in the sense of having a Black person in a traditional district. I have the education, I believe. I have the experience of management and government and sitting on boards and commissions, and got several degrees and doing stuff. But pulling it all together, it looked like it was time. And so this young man, who was actually one of my students, right after college, I taught in the public school system. And so Ricky was one of the students. And he reminded me that my slogan when I ran unsuccessfully for the Florida House of Representatives back in 2002 was "The future is now." And he was like, this is the future, Rahman. The future is right now. And so it was a great experience and opportunity, and I jumped at it, and here we are. Yeah. So it's about saying, so often we look toward the future. We look toward where we want to be, and voting is aspirational, but we have the ability and the opportunity to make the future right now. And speaking of right now, one thing I want to share with you is the fact that the election is coming up on Tuesday. I can only raise money until tomorrow night. Tomorrow at midnight, I have to stop raising money. One of my reasons for being here, I'm going to say it over and over again. Please go on and give. Go to my website, rahman.vote. That's rahman.vote, because there's even a TV commercial that we want to run. I'm going to show it a couple times. I'll show it before we leave here. But I need you to go on and give, because I need to beef up that commercial to make it run. And by the way, if you're watching this, share it, please. Thank you.
Can you let the people know why it's important to vote, especially in this day and age? Why is it so important to vote? Because some people feel like their vote don't count. Oh, they're not going to make changes anyway. This is going to happen. That's going to happen. Why is it important to vote, Rob?
Well, voting, I mean, I can't tell you how often. And by the way, if anybody wants to join the conversation, the link is at the bottom. You can go to tinyurl.com /Rahman Live. That's tinyurl.com/RAHMAN Live. And you can get here live and ask questions. Or if you're watching on any of the social medias right now, just leave your question in the chat, and I will promise you I will get to as many of them as I can. So to answer your question, why it's important, I mean, people, and I know it's cliche, but people died. People fought, people worked so that we have the opportunity to experience a modicum of freedom. And trust me, it's not full freedom. It's more of a modicum. But we have the opportunity, and we see what's happening in Tallahassee at the State House and in the State Senate. We see what's happening in Washington. And so voting means, if we don't vote, that means our voices are silent. That means the people who are going up to work for us are not supported because our voices aren't pushing them and putting them where they need to be. And we got to hold those people accountable. Like when they're there, it's important for us to hold those people accountable. Because if you don't hold them accountable, what happens? You end up in situations where people are telling you what books your kids can read. How about that? Yeah. Thanks, Terrence George. I see Terrence George just popped in. Thank you so much. Please do me a favor and share this and join the conversation if you will.
Okay. District 14. Out of all the districts, why District 14?
Well, that's where I live. Number one, District 14 is everything's determined by geography when it comes to the city council in Jacksonville. And so District 14 is a pretty expansive district. It goes out to Oak Leaf Plantation. It goes up to just beyond 103rd Street in Jacksonville. I mean, this city is such a rich cornucopia, for lack of a better term, of people, of spaces, of experiences. And I'm really excited to be able to represent the new District 14. It did not look this way January 1st, 2023. It looked completely different. Now the district is over 40% African-American. It's the second highest Latino district in the city. 20% of the people there are MPAs, 52% of the people there are Democrats. This district is a diverse district. And with our numbers looking like they are, why aren't we browner? Why isn't the leadership of Jacksonville just as brown as our city? And I think it's important that we have a diversity of thoughts, not just about color or gender or any of those things. It's about a diversity of thought. And you got to have people that look different and worship different and act different to represent us. And that's what representative government is all about.
Interesting. How do you plan to help the city grow? I mean, you got all these ideas. How are you going to help the city grow?
Well, growth, I think, is something that's key. And by the way, if anybody wants to join the conversation, you can go there, tinyurl.com/Rahman Live. That's tinyurl.com/RAHMAN Live. We'd love to have your comments or questions. And also do us a favor and share this broadcast. So, and by the way, www.rahman.vote. I need you to go on and go to rahman.vote so that you can make sure that you are giving to the campaign. I only have a few hours left that I can accept contributions. So one of the things that I talk about is something, I did a poll of the district and I walked the neighborhoods. I think it's important to be intelligent about the decisions that are made. So when I decided to run for this office, I got calls from many organizations across the city. And I wanted to make sure that I was, one, making an informed decision, and two, that I heard the voices of the people. And that's what this was about. And I got calls from so many organizations and people. And even there was a social campaign, a hashtag, Run Rahman Run. And I kept getting that via text message and email and on social. And I'm like, maybe I should, and my initial answer was no. It wasn't something that I was ready to do. Plus, I know what it takes to run a campaign. So here we are 6 weeks away and I'm starting a campaign. What I had to do is to ensure that I was ready by listening to people. And so the infrastructure improvement piece is one that's so important. I want to make sure that the West Side has the infrastructure that we need to move things forward. And that's what people are saying. And that's what I see as well. Sidewalks, making sure the streets are wide enough, ditches, things like that. And there are many areas of the West Side that don't have it. Two is transportation. One part of transportation is public transportation. There are areas of our city that don't have consistent public transport, and we want to make sure that that is changed, as well as corridors that we're not bottlenecked and stuffed and stopped because the streets are messed up, right? We want to be able to get from one side of the city to the other so that we can enjoy all kinds of amenities, except or not just what's in our neighborhood. And last but not least, economic viability. Of course, number one on the list is safe communities. We want to make sure that our communities are safe and accessible so that our public service workers can get there, so that our public safety officials can get there. But we also want to make sure that we have communities that are livable, where companies want to come and set up shop there, that can be responsible corporate citizens, companies that can come in and thrive in our communities. And people won't have to drive from the West Side to Mandarin or South Point, but they can literally stay in their neighborhoods to work. And by the way, I say DJ Al Pete has jumped on. Thank you so much. My God, DJ Al Pete will be at our return watch party, and we're looking for some amazing results, but it only happens with you. Yeah.
Wow. So what would you say to the individual that's on here that's they're trying to make ends meet and they want jobs? They want more jobs in the community. What would you say to that person right now?
Well, it's important that you are communicating with your elected officials. And thank you, Terrence. That's right. Safe communities is so very important. Well, we've got to make sure that these safe communities are available and accessible, but we also have to make sure that the dollars are put there. And I got to answer his question real quick before I go there. The Department of Justice recommends 2.6 police officers per 1,000 people, from my understanding. Jacksonville is like, I think it's 2.6 or 2.9 officers per 1,000. We're at about 1.5, 1.6, which means we're underfunded for police. So we've got to find ways to make sure that we have the officers that we need on the street so that we can do things like community policing, so that we can have people together, working together to create opportunities so people aren't afraid of police. So police and communities are working together. That's what's important. But you asked a question about what can we do to push economic viability. Number one, hold us accountable. I believe I will be your next representative for District 14. So holding me accountable, holding the city council president, the state representative, the state senator, the congressperson, the senator, the president, whomever, hold us accountable by being involved, going to your council meetings, writing letters, sending emails, having virtual town hall meetings. One thing I believe that through COVID, if you didn't learn anything from while you were in COVID, in the midst of COVID, that's your fault, right? So, since you went through COVID, I mean, we learned how to really manipulate and use digital platforms. I plan to consistently use the digital cyberspace platform to talk to people every day. I want to be in constant communication with what's going on. I'm involved in neighborhoods. I am a part of those organizations and the apps and things like that. So I want to make sure that you don't just have to show up and come downtown to City Hall, but because of technology, we have the opportunity to bring City Hall to you. And that's what I pledge to do when I'm elected. Yeah, I see another comment there from Jess Wilson. Jess says, Jacksonville public transportation is pitiful.
Talk about it, Rock.
I urge you to, that's one of the things that I say as well, that, when you look at public transport and people, especially with disabilities and other things, they don't have the same access to, especially when you live if you live further out, it just doesn't run regularly. I had some great conversations. I sat on the Downtown Investment Authority La Villa Gateway project. And although this wasn't specifically about that, that was one of the things that came up, right? It was important that transportation pieces were provided so people, even those with disabilities and those that live far, can get to where they need to go. There are autonomous vehicles that are being tested as we speak. I had a chance to see one over at Black Expo, and I was pretty excited about these autonomous vehicles and what they bring to the table. So I will tell you that while the transportation situation is not ideal and optimal, there are people working behind the scenes right now. In fact, the guy they have working was the chief, not automation. I want to say chief innovation specialist for Amazon. And so for us to get him in Jacksonville was a coup. And I'm excited that we have him here working on making Jacksonville a better place for us all. Yeah. Thank you, Jess, for that question, or that comment, rather. Yeah.
All right. Any more comments?
None right now. But I mean, I'm an open book. If you got questions, I got answers. Do me a favor, share this. In fact, let's take a moment and I'll probably play it again. I need you guys. I need your help. But I'm going to tell you why I need your help. Let's take a look. I want to show you our TV commercial, which I'm really excited to have on the air. I want to show you our commercial and tell you why I need your help. Check it out.
I'm Rahman Johnson, and I'm running to represent you, the West Side, on Jacksonville City Council. You said you wanted to see better infrastructure and amenities on the West Side, access to public transportation and roadways that we can be proud of, and economic opportunity. That's why I'm running. I'm ready to bring energy and innovation to the Jacksonville City Council. Election day is March 21st. Please vote Rahman Johnson for City Council District 14. Thank you in advance for your vote. Remember, the future is right now.
So that's our campaign commercial. Short, sweet, to the point, but let's the future's right now. There's a lot to do. And, I have these big hands, and everybody says, I do that. When I'm making a point. So there's that. But yeah, I need your help in making sure the commercial gets out there. So if you don't mind, please log on as well. You can see right there, Rahman.vote, www.rahman.vote. You'll see there, click the donate button. And I don't care if it's $5. I don't care if it's $1. Please go on and donate. We need your help. We only have about 24 hours until we have to shut down taking contributions. So we need you. We need you.
Hey, Rock, if it's somebody that can't donate and their money a little tight, how else can they help you on this journey, on this
Great
campaign?
question. Obviously, great questions. And it's a simple thing. If you go by my website, you can leave info there. But if you want to wave signs next week, if you want to come out and maybe do some door knocking to get people to the polls, even if you can't leave your house, get on the phone, send a text message, tell people, remind people, did you vote? Have you voted? What's next? Do you know who you're voting for? Engage everyone. That's what I can say to help. Even if, now granted, I can take the $1 and the $5 because I need them at this point. When I tell you I'm begging for your dollars, I'm begging because it does take money to run a campaign. I've invested in my own campaign. I've got friends like you, thank you very much, Mr. McDuffie, and others to invest their dollars in this campaign, but it's not about me. One of the things I've always said is that I don't consider myself to be a politician, right? I see myself as someone who is a public servant, right? And in this case, I aspire to be an elected official again. And I believe that with everyone's help, it's something we can do. By the way, we have another comment from Terrence George, senior citizens and disabilities, transportation for them. Yeah, people with disabilities and senior citizens. That's, again,
great question.
It is a great question. I mean, it's a key for us to ensure that it is key for us to ensure that they're taken care of. I mean, come on, it's biblical. Whatever you do to the least of these, you've done unto me. Ain't that what the word said? I ain't a preacher, but don't push me. But seriously, man, I think we have a responsibility to take care of our community. And so that's why I'm here now. That's why I'm having this conversation publicly, so that if you want to ask a question, I'm here, so you can ask that question. And by the way, you can jump on right now. You'll see the link below. All you have to do is go to tinyurl.com/Rahman Live. You can join the stream, join the conversations, ask me what you want. I look forward to hearing from you.
Don't be scared.
Do you have other questions?
All right, the babies, the kids. I mean,
Yes.
You invested so much in your community. I heard you got you've been in a public school. You also teach at Edward Waters University.
Yes.
With the direction with the kids on social media, they have nowhere to go. They're in their phones. They got no socialization skills. What is your plan for that? Like, what is your plan about the future? Because they are the future.
I'm excited to be able to work with the school board. As you know, the auspice of the school system it lies with them, right? It's the school board. They handle the school system. But I'm really excited to have a working relationship with the board members and the support of my longtime friend and my mother's elementary school classmate, chairman and former city council president and former chair of the school board and former city council president, Warren Jones, and Daryl Willie, who is a dear friend as well. But I'm so excited to work with them and so many of the other members of the school board to create not just programs, but to also support them. Because it doesn't mean every situation is not solved with legislation. One thing I've always believed is that you cannot legislate morality, right? So every situation is not going to be solved with legislation, but it will be solved if we work together. It's solved by cooperation, not legislation, cooperation. And so if we find that happy medium, that means maybe raising the dollars, maybe connecting with city, state, and local officials, pulling it together, not the school board over here and the Senate over here and the House over here and the city council over here. And we're all trying to get to the same space, but we're all doing it our own ways. It's about us finding ways to work together. Yeah. And by the way, I'm looking for your comments. If anybody has comments, please leave your comments below. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions on all of your social media, even if you're on Facebook. I think we're on Twitter. Instagram, what do you call this? YouTube. Don't I sound like an old person? Like, what do you call this? Social media? But I'm here.
You are here.
Yeah.
So now the tough question. Why do you think you're the best candidate? I mean, I've heard the candidates that you're going against have been in this arena for years.
Yeah, they have.
Why you?
So I don't think I'm the best candidate. I know I'm the best candidate. I feel that I am. I believe in this possibility. I don't take this decision lightly. I've prayed about it before I stepped into this arena. I've thought about it. I've been a journalist and storyteller all my life. And as a storyteller, I don't just tell stories traditionally, right? I've told stories as an actor, told story on stage, film, and TV. I've told stories as a speaker. I've told stories as a news anchor and a reporter. And I've brought these stories to life. But what's most important, what I believe is most important, is that the stories that we tell are amplified. And that's what I'm here to do. And I don't believe that the opponents can do that. And let's say that they can, right? I respect both of my opponents. They were both members of city council. But what I will say is that if you are running a race, one thing I know about relay races, with the baton, is that when you're running in the race, part of the objective is to pass the baton. If you hold on to the baton, your team is immediately disqualified. So each time you move, the baton must be passed. I'm in the position to take the baton and run it to the next individual. They had their opportunity to run with the baton. My job now is not only to run with the baton, but to prepare the next leg of the race so I can then hand the baton off to that individual. And that's the analogy I use. I believe the possibility is there for us to do great things in Jacksonville. But are we going to put forth the effort that's needed? And by the way, you all can join me live right now. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, or you can click on the link. That's tinyurl.com/Rahman Live, tinyurl.com/RAHMAN Live. I'd love to hear what you think, how you think we're going. Mr. Al Pete says, empowering people that actually care about kids, the community, etc. And that's right. We've got to empower, or one thing I learned, I have a fraternity brother, Donald Comer, and Donald's a VP at a blue chip Fortune 100 company. And something he said to me, we don't have the power to empower. We have the power to inspire, and then people can empower themselves.
Okay, you say that one more time. I got to write it down. Somebody on here might need to write that down.
He said, we don't have the power to empower. We have the power to inspire, and then we can empower ourselves. And I thought that was really good. I was like, wow, and we do. I spend so much time saying, hey, and the reason we had the conversation, I told him I wanted to empower my students. He said, nice try, but you can't empower your students. You can inspire them, but you can't empower them, right? Yeah. And we got another comment. I believe in you. Thank you. So Generica is my cousin, my sister, all of that. Just like Mr. Al Pete is my brother, Generica is she's my she is my real blood cousin, grown up. Wiping each other's snotty noses, I guess, although she is the older cousin.
Where's she at? Tell her come on in here.
I wish she could. I don't know whether she can, but Generic, if you can, come on, jump on. Just click the link, tinyurl.com/Rahman Live. This is my last kind of live, major thing before the election. If you can give, please go on right now and donate. I only have a short time left for you to give to my campaign, but you can log on right now. All you have to do is go to www.rahman.vote. There it is right now, www.rahman. And they said don't say www. You guys know that, but rahman.vote. I don't care what the amount is. Please go on and give, even if it's only $5. We need the support. This is the last day, the last day that you can give. Tomorrow at midnight, everything shuts down. So I'll just be running on the gas that I've already put in the tank. So I need your help and support to make sure we can move forward.
Do you have to live in Florida to donate?
No, you can live anywhere. The only rule is that you must be an American citizen. So all of my friends across the country, and I will tell you, I can read the list. of people who have been donating literally from across the country. People across the country have stepped up to the plate to be a part of this, and I could not be more thankful. People from other cities. I have some friends who are expats. My nephew lives in Sweden. I mean, they're just people who are all over who are saying, hey, this is what you're supposed to be doing, and I can't thank you enough for donating. So thank you. Yeah.
Hey, Rock, is there anybody that you can think of that passed the baton to you? There's someone that mentored you on this journey to get you to where you at today.
Well, this is my agent. First of all, I see my agent has left a message. Hey, Andrea, and you can tell she calls me Rock. So we've been together for 20 years. She's been my agent through up and down, and has led me through a great career. And I'm not gonna stop working just because I get elected, and I believe I will. I'm not gonna stop working because this is my job, right? I will be serving as service, but my job is still as an actor and as a host and that kind of thing. So, Andrea, thank you for keeping me working. You and baby, y'all keep me working. There are so many people I can say that have inspired me in so many ways. And I don't want to start naming names, but I'm going to name a few.
Just a few.
So socially and just as an individual, you know my thoughts about Paul Robeson. Paul Robeson was an actor, lawyer, academic, professional. He did it all. And so in my room at home, I have a mural of him in my bedroom of Paul, because I am inspired by Paul Robeson. I am inspired by the work he did. And so I believe, I know you asked me before, Sam, how are you doing all of this? And I'm a big multitasker, as you know. And I think Paul inspires me because he did it all. He saw opportunity in everything and he did it all. So that was a really, really good thing, I thought. And so I have kind of taken that as a part of my life and what I do. I want to say even more interesting than that. And this is where it gets really good. There are some people in Jacksonville specifically, in Florida, who've inspired me. One, I got a call from someone recently, and it almost brought me to tears. And I usually don't share private calls, but this call came from Senator Betty Hosendorf. And I have pictures with Senator Hosendorf. It was one of those moments. I learned so much from Senator Hosendorf and the things she said to me that I will hold dear for the rest of my life, regardless of what anybody says. I've learned so much from the senator. Betty Hosendorf, certainly my godfather, John Thomas, who has passed on, former state representative Willie Clayton Dennis, who was one of the first people that put me on the scene and said, no, you're going to get up on this stage and give this speech at the Martin Luther King breakfast 100 years ago. Padrica Mendez, certainly our Congresswoman, Corrine Brown, Councilwoman Denise Lee, Deetra Mix, Warren Jones, who I mentioned earlier. I mean, I can go down the list. Elizabeth Yates. One of the things I think I want to do, Sam, is that when I'm elected, as I believe I will be, I want a mural on the wall of my office, right, at City Council. And I want the mural to be reflective of those people that served in elected office, some of whom I knew well and some of whom I only knew a short time before they passed away. But I want them, the local elected officials that have meant something to my life, I want them on that wall so they will be there to remind me why I'm there. Now, I know I'm there for the people, but I'm there because of the work that they did. Dr. Arnett Girardo, who, when I ran for the state house back in 2002, sat me down and helped me understand reapportionment. C.B. Griffin, who many may not even remember, served a short time on council, shared with me some of his learnings. Harold Gibson, who dared to run for mayor. Earl Johnson Sr. I mean, I can go down the list of these wonderful people. And I'm wanting to have them there watching me. As Maya Angelou so eloquently said, I come as one, but I stand as 10,000. And I will never forget that.
Wow. You say you're a storyteller.
Yeah, I think so.
So vision. Take us down. What's that vision you have for District 14? Can we go on that journey with you? What's the vision you have? Because they say without a vision, the people will
perish.
So what's that vision? Let's talk about that vision real quick.
Man, and the conversations have helped me to develop a clarity of vision for the district. What I see in District 14 is a vision of a community, of a city that is, and I say a city, but if you notice on the logo, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, the city of Jacksonville, the skyline of Jacksonville is there because I am here as a representative of my community and my district, but I am also here as a representative of the people of Jacksonville. And that's so important to me to remember that it's not just about the West Side, although I'm here for the West Side and that's where I'm from and I believe in it. We are here. This is about Jacksonville. It's about a cohesiveness. You know, I saw some very divisive things the other day talking about one of the mayoral candidates being from the beach. But in 1968, the Jacksonville city was consolidated, the city and county government. So the beach is a part of Jacksonville. Baldwin is a part of Jacksonville. All these places are a part of Jacksonville. And so the vision is for us to be one Jacksonville, for us to love and understand, for us to all get together and support the 2030 Super Bowl champion Jaguars. I said it.
Don't start that. Somebody I'm not going to go with that.
The 2030 Super Bowl champion Jaguars. But a community that's inclusive, that has amenities, a community that the authorities are respected and brought in for, where it's not there. The authorities aren't just there if something bad happens, but they are a part of the community as a whole, right? Our firefighters, our police officers, making sure that our communities are as beautiful outside as we know the people are inside, making sure that if there are code violations, we're not forcing people to bring them up to code by making them feel bad or jumping down on them, but seeing what we can do, especially those citizens that are disadvantaged, to help them bring their homes or properties up to code. A community that has a phenomenal public transportation infrastructure, right? A community that connects. If I want to go to the beach and I don't want to drive because I'm going to have a drink or two, I'll be able to hop on a bus or a tram or something like that and go. It's about that. That is what it's about. So I can't tell you how much that I'm urging everybody to help me with this vision, to see the vision of a greater Jacksonville, a more inclusive Jacksonville, a more responsive Jacksonville city government, but most importantly, a loving Jacksonville. Yeah. And I think we can do it. And that's the vision I see. It's all about the vision. And I will do that when you send me to the city council, because we will work with all members of the community and all the communities that are there. Yeah. This is the real, it's unadulterated. We didn't plan this, but I figured I needed to come on, right? And it was so important to come on. I see some of them, Tasha Roke, hey Tasha, and then I see you spelled my name, but spelled it right. So Tasha Roke was one of my students a long, long time ago. And I cannot tell you how much I appreciate Tasha for being just a great student, a great person. Tasha, you're so phenomenal. Has always been supported. And let me tell you, man, years and years and years, I've I didn't know I was a teacher, but I'm a teacher, right? And I told my mom this. My mom, God rest her soul. I said, Mom, I will not teach. You did that. My grandmother did that. Many uncles and aunts did that. I am not teaching. So as you know, I was on Nickelodeon for a while, right? Hosting a
Nickelodeon.
show. And mom goes, so one day after I'm home on break, and mom says, so you talk to kids every day? I'm like, yeah, of course I do. And she says, so you give them messages. Yeah, you're sharing stuff with them. Of course. Guess what? You're a teacher. My mom threw it in my face. So I enjoy being a thought leader. I like to use the term thought leader, and I like to share. And so I'm excited that many of the students that I've had the privilege of sharing with over the years have donated to my campaign, have come out to work, have volunteered, not because I asked them, but because they saw the opportunity that existed from what we were doing. And I cannot be more thankful. And thank you, Andrea. And it's so beautiful. Andrea Jones Downs is not just my agent, but we have become friends. We've been there for each other through ups and downs and the death of friends and loved ones. But she is, when I say that's my girl, that's my girl. And in fact, I have to tell a story. I remember coming to your house, Andrea, and I think I had some Johnny Walker Blue. That's the first time I had Johnny Walker Blue. But we're not going to talk about that. He's such a sweetheart, though. I love, when I tell you I love, that's Andrea as my sister. Yes. Yeah. So we're closing in on time. Anybody, I would love for you to make a contribution right now. I'm going to probably play the commercial again before we get out of here. But Rahman Live, that right there, you can find the info there. It's tinyurl.com. Should be down there somewhere. tinyurl.com/RAHMAN live. If you click on it, we can bring you into the stream if you have questions or recommendations or thoughts or any of those things. I would love to have you on to say whatever it is you want to say. This is your and even if you're not in District 14, right? Even if you want to talk about what's happening in our city, I want to use this time I have to not only talk to you, but to hear from you. And I think that's important. So you think I covered everything, Sam?
I think so.
I mean, they're just so, and it's so funny. I'm getting text messages left and right. I can't thank you all enough for sending texts and sharing this broadcast with other people. And like I said, we're up on Twitter, we're up on YouTube, we're on Facebook. We are everywhere.
So what are you gonna get on the radio? Are you gonna do any TV? Like what's next?
Right now, I'll tell you, as you saw the commercial go out with the campaign, we're on radio, we're on TV, we're doing digital campaigns, we are knocking on doors, we are walking in the neighborhoods. And when I tell you knocking on doors, I've even got some, I don't have any here, but posters that businesses have requested. And so I was at the dry cleaner the other day and they were like, we need a poster. And I'm like, I don't have a poster. But I went and my folk made me a poster. So there it is. I can't say it enough. And you can join the conversation as well. You can either leave a comment below or you can join the conversation at tinyurl.com/Rahman live. But yeah, man, everybody's kind of jumping in and making this a community effort. And that's what it's about. It's not just about me, Sam. It's an effort for the whole community coming together. Yeah.
Annie Battle said, I've listened to you over the years speak on Jacksonville, and I think you're a great man. She said you're a great man for the job. Why do you think you're a great man for the job? What's going to be the mission when you get elected?
Let me tell you about Miss Ann, who I love. She's, and I will tell you, Miss Ann has always been an individual to, as my grandmother and many of the older folks said, to tell it like a TIS is. Okay. And Miss Ann will tell you if you're doing good, if you do it bad, but Miss Ann is going to tell you. And the other day, as one would know, when you're in the midst of a campaign, it is very difficult. You are running, you are moving, you are just all over the place. And I had not eaten on this particular day. And I'm really big on my fitness and big on food and also really big on what I put in my body. And Miss Ann, who is probably the cook that I think I'm a pretty good cook, but baby, when I tell you Miss Ann gets in the kitchen and throws down, she does. And she called me, and she called me on about something else, and she was helping me do some stuff for the campaign, and I had to talk about it. And I know it's gonna sound real simple, but Sam, I had not eaten, and I was so hungry, and I needed to get something to eat, but I honestly didn't have time to stop. Remember, this campaign was only a few weeks old, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so hungry." Miss Ann said, "Well, baby, I made some spaghetti." Lord have mercy. By the time I got to Miss Ann's house, like your mother would, she came in with a thing of spaghetti and sauce that she had put to, and I mean, it was so good. And she even made the good what do you call it, the garlic roll, garlic bread, man. So you don't know how much I appreciate that, Miss Ann, and because of your relationship with my mother, I still feel like my mom is still here with us. I know she is. She's watching us, so thank you for that, and thank you for believing in me. And Sam, it's something she said. Great man for the job. I believe I am. When I ran in 2002, I'll tell you this story, and I've told it a million times. So if you've heard it, just listen anyway, y'all. Back in 2002, I ran for the Florida legislature, and my dear friend Audrey Gibson, who is now running for mayor, she was the winner of that election, and I worked like the Dickens. You hear me, man? I worked. And I asked God. I said, God, should I run? And I got the prayer, and a lot of us expect God to come down in like a cloud and say, "Thy child shalt thou run now," And that's not what happened for me. I was in Publix in Gateway, and an old man, who I don't know who this man is, he came up to me and he said, "You that Johnson boy, huh?" And at the time I was an elected official, and he came up to me and he said, "I believe in you." He basically gave my prayer back to me. Right? He said the prayer back to me like verbatim. So it was it was the voice of God to me telling me to run. So I get out here and I run, Sam, and I say, "Okay, Lord." And mind you, this man gave me a 50-cent piece, which I still have, by the way. And he was like, "You're going to do good." And so I got the answer. I prayed to God. I asked to, be able to raise all this money. And then I get here and I lose. I came in dead last. And I couldn't understand it. And I remember walking, and I had nothing to say to God. Okay. Now I'm still praying. I ain't no fool. You know what I'm saying? I still like, "Oh, Lord, I love you, but I was like, I ain't talking to you because you done got me out here in front of these people and embarrassed me, right? So I literally, the next morning, I was staying downtown at the Adams Market at the time, because that's where we had the end of the campaign thing. So I walked from the hotel down to Bethel, to Bishop McKissick's church. And I was, disappointed, but I put on my nice suit, and I put on my tie, and I put on my good shoes, and I walked down to Bethel. And I got down there, and I was there with Pastor McKissick, and he called me out. He said, "You're going to be fine. This is what was supposed to happen." And I'm looking at him like, "Why are you talking to me?" God embarrassed me, but I love Bishop McKissick. So I leave, I go back to the hotel, man. And I tell you, just as plain as I'm speaking to you, I heard a message say, "The lesson was in the running, not in the winning." Told you to run. I never told you you'd win. And it was almost like a calm came over me, and I was able to experience peace. As they say, the peace that passes all understanding. I experienced it. I was cool. And the next thing you know, a year later, here I am, a year or so later, I'm hosting one of the biggest television shows on the most watched network on cable. I'm in hundreds of millions of households around the world, and had just opportunities that I couldn't even dream of, simply because I was obedient. And so I tell you that to say that, yeah, the lessons I learned there, it was a valuable lesson, period, to say the lesson was in the running and not in the winning. That was important. And hey there, I see Dr. Tanya Stevens Walker, and Tanya is Tanya. I'm sorry, did I say Tanya? Tanya Walker. Look, that's this other contact, Tanya. Tanya Walker is my friend. We have cried together. We have prayed together. We were in the PhD program together, and our advisor in that program passed away, and she was one of the committee members, and it was just a sad moment for many of us in this program. And anybody who's been through the PhD process knows it ain't easy. And so I was so glad. Tanya is an anointed soul. She will sing you up onto Mount Galilee or wherever. Okay. All of the, yeah. Oh, Sister Tanya, she was did praise and worship with Bishop Jakes for a while, and she's just a phenomenally talented woman and real intelligent and a good mama. And she also raised dogs on the side. She's from Arkansas, so she's a country girl, but you wouldn't know. She put on them heels and she's just a good person. I'm so glad to be able to call her my friend, my sister, and to call her Dr. Tanya Walker, because that's what she is. Yeah. Thank you, Tanya. So yeah, we're almost out of time, but I want to remind you, if anybody wants to jump on, you can with tinyurl.com/Rahman Live. That's tinyurl.com/Rahman Live. Let's take a look at the commercial again, because I want you to know that in order for this commercial to run, I need your dollars, right? And I need you to go on to Rahman.vote.
It can't run by itself?
No, it can't run by itself. It run with money.
Oh, okay. I got you.
And I don't care if it's $2 or $3. I need your help in doing this. So let's take a look again at this commercial and why we need your support at Rahman.vote.
I'm Rahman Johnson, and I'm running to represent you, the West Side, on Jacksonville City Council. You said you wanted to see better infrastructure and amenities on the West Side, access to public transportation and roadways that we can be proud of, and economic opportunity. That's why I'm running. I'm ready to bring energy and innovation to the Jacksonville City Council. Election day is March 21st. Please vote Rahman Johnson for City Council District 14. Thank you in advance for your vote. Remember, the future is right now.
Yep, there it is. I'm so excited. Thanks to RD Music, thanks to Mr. Al Pete, everybody who had a hand in helping to produce that commercial. And we are, so a friend of mine reached out and said, well, hey, wait a minute. You don't talk about yourself in the commercial. And I don't. I mean, that's not why I'm running. I mean, I know what I could do. I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to, use the skills I've been given. But I think we want people that are focused on what we can do, right? Less on this like, oh, I'm the greatest one and I've done this in my career, in my life. But no, here's where we can go together. Remember, when Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Gave his famous speech at the March on Washington, and when I learned this lesson, I was blown away. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. did not say, I have a plan. Now, granted, there was a plan there, but people didn't follow Dr. King because he had a plan. They followed him because he had a dream. And the dream is what we can translate today into being vision. And that's what people want. We want a vision of what, your question was, what's the vision for District 14? What's the vision for Jacksonville? I've been involved in the production industry all my life. I want to bring those companies that have sound stages and production to our city. We have 17,000 acres over at Cecil Commerce Center. Let's use it for some of that stuff. We've got so much opportunity and promise in this city. It's up to us to use it. And that's the question. Yeah, that's the question. So what are we going to do with it? So it's not about a plan. It's more about a vision. Move forward. I see Vincent Taylor. Mr. Taylor is an author, a multi-award-winning author, and his books, his children's books and books on education are legend. He's been teaching for literally 30 years and continues to just, yeah. And he looks, a funny story about him, Sam, Mr. Taylor, he's also my neighbor now. But when we were both kids, and he's only a few years older than me, but I won't tell anybody. I'll just make him think that he's like my great granddaddy or whatever. But he was my karate teacher. Many don't know he's a black belt in karate. And my mom, he was my cousin's best friend in high school, and he went to Lee. And he taught as a young high school student, and I was in elementary school. he taught karate, and he was my karate teacher. And so now not only are we friends, he is one of the main reasons that I wrote my book, Living, Loving, Letting Go, which became a bestseller and an award-winning book. And I did it thanks to him and Try Eclipse Publishing. So thank you, Mr. Taylor. Thank you. Yep. And we're almost out of time. I mean, I'm excited. I see our team is text messaging me and saying that we're good. We're good. Okay, people are talking all around, but we've got contributions coming in left and right? And we're getting those thank you notes out. So they're coming as soon as I can sign them. I'm gonna put them in the mail. But guys, we have we need you. We need you to go on Rahman.vote. That's www.rahman.vote and give your contribution. We can use you. Log on right now. And Miss Battle, thank you so much. Miss Ann, I love her. She said, I'll handle situations quickly. And I do. I care about people. I mean, and I get it from you, Miss Ann. Lord knows, Miss Ann, you done cook for everybody and break. She's also, I remember as a kid, Sam, my mother, Miss Ann would braid mom's hair. And she's an amazing artist when it comes to hairstyles. And so mom was kind of ahead of her time having braids or whatever. And Miss Ann was always giving her the latest and greatest styles. And I remember one time Miss Ann loves the Lord. She's on fire for God. And I remember someone saying like, well, you still braid hair? Aren't you supposed to be saved? And I will never forget Miss Ann said, the Lord saved me. He didn't take my talent. He blessed me. And that's one thing I believe, regardless of who you are, you can still be of God and amplify your talent. And it should be that way. So thank you, Miss Ann, for teaching me that lesson and for continuing to inspire me. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, we have been on for a minute, Sam. Like the show has been, and it wasn't even supposed to be a show. It was just supposed to be a conversation. If you all have questions.
I'm sorry, Rock. I'm just on the website. I'm going another contribution. You sold me today. So I gotta get.
Yeah, I can't thank everybody enough. Thank you, Sam. Thank you for contributing again. The team has been so good. Oh, what's up? Oh, that's Dominique. How you doing, brother? I appreciate you, man. Tonight is we have about 24 hours left to give. So make sure that you are going by the website tonight at some point. Rahman.vote. That's RAHMAN.vote. Click on donate and you can give. We're trying to raise about $7,000, but we want to beef up the commercials that we have. We do have commercials running right now and digital and some other things, but right now we need your help in any way, shape, or form. And even after this is over, share it so that others can know what we got going on and you could be a part of it. Any final questions, Sam, that you may have?
My last question to be is, you talked about fight. You talked about coming together.
Yes.
So what's the mission? What's the mission now? What is the mission? We got the vision now. What's the mission? When you get in office,
yes.
What is the mission? What does it look like when you get there?
Forward. I would say sometimes a mission, I was teaching a class on mission statements and vision statements, and TED from the TED Talks, their mission is 2 words: spread ideas. My mission, when I walk onto the 4th floor of the Jacksonville City Council, or when I walk onto the dais of the 1st floor on City Council, the one thing I'm going to see is my mission is forward. Forward. We must move forward. There's where I went to graduate school, there's a saying that's Latin, and it says hazard zet forward. Hazard zet forward. And what that means in English is whatever the peril, move forward. So even when it seems like the odds are insurmountable, even when it seems like, and Lord knows when this campaign is over, baby, I'm gonna have some stories to tell. But even when the odds are against you, there is still a space to move forward, right? And that's the one thing that I will look at as my mission. It will be what I think of when I wake up in the morning after my prayers and my meditation. It will be what I believe in. I want to see us go forward as a city, forward as a community, forward as a people. And I believe that my election to the Jacksonville City Council will allow that to happen.
Well, the future is now. After
Sam.
25 years, the future is now.
Must you really keep putting the 25-year thing out there?
I mean, because you look 25. I mean, I'm sorry. Future is now.
The future, right? The future is right now. Yeah. And you know, I want to share as we get out of here. And you guys had a chance to see the commercial, had a chance to see the other stuff that we were doing. I'm so thankful again for this opportunity to share. Please share this broadcast. And I am going to end this by saying the only way that we can move forward is together. And so my opponents, as much as I do have respect for them as former elected officials, our team has worked consistently. We will outwork them, and I will extend my hands to work with them. And that's how we create the future that we want for our city. So thank you much. I really wanted to share before I get out of here, I really wanted to share have you saw the intro to my podcast, right? No, you haven't. Okay, so cool. I'll share that on the way out. Let me tell you, I have not, I've gotten the nasty grams from everybody by saying, hey, you hadn't done your podcast in a while. Once I get in, get past the election, I am going to bring the podcast back. So if anybody wants to know, it is coming back. But thank you. I'll take your emails, your text messages, everything. And I cannot thank you enough. Miss Ann, LaPaji, Cousin Brenda. I can name names: Generica, Mickey, Duncan, Keziah, Anaya, Lord have mercy, my son Kenyon, everybody, Aubrey. I love you all. I cannot say it enough. I love you. I thank you for supporting me and being the wind beneath my wings. And for the first time, Sam, you're seeing it. This is the podcast. Oh, we got more contributions coming in?
Yeah, I'm sending mine as well.
Wow, wait a minute, you already gave, so you give it again. Thank you.
Hey, after you sold me on this one,
it has not stopped ringing, and everybody on both sides, they said they're coming in. So pass the word, Rock. Thank you. I got it. Pass the word, Rockman.vote. Let's make sure, and yeah, we're wrapping it up. They're telling me I got to go to. I got something else to do, so on to the next one. Sam, thank you for taking time to do this interview with me as well.
All right, thank you.
Where can we find you on social? I don't see your social there. Where can we find you on social?
Next Level Talk. Next level. We got to get to the next level because you're going to the next level. You're taking Jacksonville to the what?
Next level.
Yes.
What platform? You're on Facebook and Instagram?
Instagram and Facebook. That's it.
Gotcha. All right. We'll find you there. Thank you so much, Sam McDuffie. Next Level Talk. Thank you all. Thank you for the contributions. Please keep them coming. We have until midnight tomorrow night. Until next time, the Rockman Experience will be back real soon. This week's The Rockman Experience is brought to you by the Jacksonville Free Press newspaper, bringing you quality urban news for more than 30 years. PMP Nutrition and Supplements. Want your summer body? Go to pmpnutrition.com. They'll get you exactly where you need to be. Heart SEO, internet marketing and web design for those who are ready to make their business soar. HeartSEO.com. And now, one of the hottest podcasts in the country. It is the Rockman Experience. Just like on the earth, through death comes life.
There is something in the atmosphere of Edgewater College.
What about vaping and the effects on the lungs?
It was a symbol of we can.
Rahman was a man of the city, you hear me?
You're inside the Rockman Experience.
It's the Rockman Experience.
The Rockman Experience.
The knowledge that he dropping, most dismiss it, make you curious.
And we can't mess this up, cause you know he gon' be furious.
He bring the news to you, cause it's the truth, ain't no stopping it. Say you didn't know, well here's the proof coming from
Rahman Johnson, ain't no straight out of Compton. Duval County with that weight that we rockin'. Now you tuned in to
the Rockman Experience.